Hi. Hi everyone. Welcome to this live webinar. I'm so excited to see you join. Thank you for taking your time out to come join us on this live webinar. My name is Uche and I'm so excited to walk you guys through the systems. But first, we're just going to walk through some introduction and set some pace. So because I'm actually on Instagram here and I don't want my Instagram fans to be left out, I'm just going to do a quick intro. So welcome to this webinar. Like I said, my name is Uche. Thank you so much for joining in. So what's going to happen is my main focus here is going to be on the webinar, while Instagram is going to be live streaming. So if you're on Instagram, you might not really get all the juice. So I really recommend you come over to the webinar so you can ask all your questions, because I'm just going to drop my camera body and, so this is perfect for this. I'm going to leave the camera here for live while we enjoy ourselves here in this class. Okay, so who's ready to learn about system? If you are ready to learn about systems, I want to see you drop an emoji in the chat box or something to just know that you are ready to learn about systems on this live webinar. So yes, love it, love it. So glad to have you here. Thank you all for joining. Okay, so without any further ado, I'm just going to share my screen and we will get into it. Okay. All right. So share screen. Awesome. So let me know. Okay, so somebody's asking how you want to join the webinar. You have to just click the link in the Instagram bio and you will come over to the webinar to enjoy all of this. Okay. All right. So can you guys see me, hear me? I don't want to be left alone. Let me just quickly pick in. So I'm just launch this. All right. Awesome. This is easier. Awesome. Yep. Now let's get into it. So welcome. I'm so excited to have you guys in this class. We're not going to waste time today. We're just going to enter it straight into it. Okay. So let's start. This webinar is teaching you about how to go from chaos to calm, systems that change our businesses, or rather systems that changed our businesses. And my name is Uchechi. My name is Uchechi Ihoma. Anyhow you want to call me, Uche, Uchechi, Contently Curated, Uche of Contently, anyone is fine. And today I want you to think of me as your tour guide through the wild and wonderful world of systems. Here to lead you from chaos to calm in your social media business. So if you're ready to swap from what's happening to what's next, buckle up those brain cells because we are diving first into we're diving headfirst into a whirlwind of insights and inspiration. But hey, enough of me. Let's dive in. All right. So now I'm just going to start. Questions will fall out in the class. Questions will fall out. Time for question will fall out. Introductory will fall out. If you want to introduce yourself formally, so if you want to put on your camera, put on your mic, I would give you access. But in the meantime, let's get into it. Okay. All right. So which one sounds like you? Okay, I'm just going to share problems we encountered, or rather I encountered in my business. Well, I like to say we because when I'm struggling or when the business is struggling, my team members are technically struggling, but they might not know it until, I look back and say, I see the issue here. So here's some problems we used to encounter in our business. And I want to, if you can relate to this, I would really love if you could drop in the comment section that I can relate to this. Okay. So does this sound like you, or did this used to happen to you? Okay. So for me, anytime we want to bring in a new client, it's as if all our business has come to a stop. Like we cannot do anything again, all because we want to sign up a new client. So business operations halt when we aim to bring in a new client on board, right? Another issue we encountered or we used to encounter is meetings are met with this dread due to the exhausting and draining nature and usually leaves us burnt out. So what used to happen was I did not look forward to having meetings with my team members. And I could sense that other people on the team did not look forward to having our meetings. And it was just like, what's going on? In fact, we spent hours and hours, phone calls, meetings. We're in a meeting for 3 hours, 4 hours, and you're like, oh my God, what's going on? When would this ever end? Another thing that used to happen to me particularly was that my heart used to race a lot when a client calls me with an unexpected request. This happens because I don't know, like, oh my God, what are they coming to ask me? Or the client's going to tell me, oh, Uche, post 10 times today, or don't post 10 times today. And it's like, wait, what? Like, it was just like, can I just run away from this situation? But because you're doing, and I know a couple of people can relate to this, that you're doing social media management for business, you just cannot run away. You need, you need the money, for lack of better words. You need the money, and we have to stay in the money. Okay. So this used to happen to me a lot. My heart races when a client calls with an unexpected request. Next, taking breaks were like luxury to me, because if I took a break or anybody on my team takes a break, it's like everything is just hanging on this hinge. Like it was so in fact, breaks were who is break? Like I could not go on any single break. Another issue that we used to encounter before was that if something unforeseen happened or urgent, so for instance, there's a time, I think it was last year, a couple of years ago, 2 years now, I fell sick and everything, nothing could happen, like everything just stopped. Or someone traveled. Let me tell you something. Right now on my team, so we're a team of three, and I'm literally the only person available. Other people aren't available, but you wouldn't notice. And funny enough, this was me last month, July. So 2 weeks in July, I was not available. But people never knew that I was not available because guess what? Systems were in place and things would go on with or without Uchi. Emails would go out, posts would go out, clients' work will be done with or without Uchi. Another issue we used to encounter, or another problem we used to encounter, was that delegating tasks was a challenge. And even when I attempted to give this task off to people, it often ends back on my plate. So maybe I say, schedule a client's post for me. I would love you to help me schedule this client's post or do this thing for a client. And so from a place of, let me just give someone else the work to do. And when I give them the work to do, it's like, okay, what's happening here? Why is it coming back to me? One, it never gets done how I want it to be done. I have to start afresh again. So it's like if somebody spent 4 hours creating or scheduling content, it's like I have to spend another 4 hours again. And that was just being redundant with time. Another issue was the number of Google Docs for our tax and project management had become overwhelming and required organization. I don't know who could experience who is going through this, but right now I hate Google Docs, and this is because they overwhelmed me. They gave me some sort of pressure at some point in my life. Google Docs were just a lot for everything, content ideas, content planning, shoot this, monthly reports, we were just, and this was like 2020, 2021-ish, like always opening like Google Docs over and over and over again. You're planning content in Google Docs. You're using manual table form to create like content calendar and all. These numbers of Google Docs for tax and project management had become overwhelming and required organization. And last but not the least, hiring or outsourcing, which was an option, but it couldn't carry out things effectively as we wanted them to be. So if we hire someone, it's like, oh, this person is wasting their time, or we couldn't look. Personally, and this was because I had no systems then, if I hired people, I couldn't measure and say, this is what Ushe did for me, or this is what Sandra did, or this is what, Jessica did, or this is what Julia did, or this is what Prinny did. But now that, we've set things in place, I'm able to say, okay, I see what she has done, and that is like maximum productivity. So before I proceed, I want to know, can anybody relate to this? If this sounds similar to you, please just drop it in, drop a comment. I just need to know that I'm not alone and the class is with me. Okay. Oh, okay. Someone on Instagram Live is with me here. Hi, Queen. Awesome. Okay. Yes. Ayomide. Okay, let's go on. So now, if this sounds like you or if something you can relate, let me tell you what's going on. It's systems. Like you're lacking systems. There's no other way to explain this. Systems. You're struggling with your systems, and when you hear people say, oh, system, it sounds like, what is this system like? What is even it? And I just want to put out this question in the group chat, or rather on this live webinar. If you could just drop in the comment section to let me know what you think systems are or what you feel like. Oh, okay, let's do this. So is there any of these things I've mentioned that you can relate? If yes, please drop the particular thing in the chat box or drop it in the Q&A. Please drop that in Q&A, or if you have a question. And another thing I'm also going to ask is if you can relate to the fact that you've heard of systems, but you don't know what systems are, let me know. So like, before I proceed to tell you what systems are, I want to know exactly what systems are for you, like what you think systems are. Okay, I can see some questions. I'm going to ask. Okay, I can relate, especially taking breaks part. This is Priye. Someone said she can't find her mic. Okay, so you might not find your mic until I actually assign you to speak up. I can totally relate to not having a way to track progress and deliverable. Awesome. This is actually one of the major issues that social media managers have. You just can't check like how many things have I done this week? How many things have I not done this week? And guess what? You're actually doing stuff, but you cannot like say, oh, this is what I did or this is what I didn't do. It's because you don't have systems in place to track them. Let me just put this up quickly and we would proceed. All right. Okay. Okay, we have more people here. Mm-hmm. Building a system in itself is my ish because I still operate alone. I think systems are putting structures into places that would in turn ease me. Systems are protocols that allow you to work and to be easier. Okay, systems are protocols that allow you to be easier and stress-free. Yes. This everything you said here is actually true about systems. And something that really stood out to me is Ayomide's content. Apologies. She said, building a system in itself is my ish because I still operate alone. We're going to get to that because most people believe that, oh, I'm just a solopreneur or I'm just a solo freelancer. Why should I have systems? Like, what would systems do for me? We're going to get there and you're going to see how systems will benefit you as an individual, even before you now start thinking about your team. The other person says, I think systems are putting structures in places that would in turn ease me. Yes, they always ease you. And systems are protocols that would allow work to be easy and stress-free. Awesome. So let's go back into our class, right? What are systems? So think about it like this. Systems are an organized, interconnected processes, and methods that work together to achieve a specific goal, streamline operations, and ensure consistency in various aspects of your business or any other endeavor. The best way I love to explain system to people is think about when you wake up in the morning, right? So once you wake up, what do? You're like, oh, you yawn, right? Once you yawn, okay, so if you're like me, you probably want to do your devotion first. So for me, my regular morning, once I wake up, I yawn, I'm awake, I struggle in bed for a bit. But if I struggle to wake up, I want to brush my teeth because when I brush my teeth, sleep leaves my eye. Now I brush my teeth and I come back to my bed to actually have my devotion. And once I'm done with my devotion, I get up. If I had woken, so technically, so for most people, you wake up, you have your devotion, you brush your teeth, maybe you take a shower, you dress up, you do your breakfast, you do some self-care stuff, put your place together, and then next thing you want to do is you want to start work, right? These are step-by-step processes. That's literally how systems is, but think about it for your own business. So it's like these things, you're doing them over and over and over again. So if you're asking yourself, okay, what should I then systemize? So what you should look out to systemize is anything that happens repeatedly in your business can be systemized. So does anybody have any example of what you think can be systemized in your business? If you do, please drop it in the question box and I'm going to come to your question. Now, when I say anything that's been systemized, already you know that you need to wake up in the morning, Abby. You need to shower, you need to bath, you need to eat, you need to brush your teeth. And every morning, I have all be weak. This already because I'm actually need to put the ask the group, what you think can be systemized, which is the next question we have up here. So the next question we have is what for you, what happens repeatedly in your business? So I want to know, can someone share what they think happens repeatedly in their business? Some people are complaining about hearing. Can you hear me? So if you can't hear me, I think it's because of your network. Does anybody have anything they want to share about what you think can be repeated? And also, this is for the guys on Instagram Live. Do you have anything you believe in your business can be a repeated process? So think about like, I don't know, monthly reports off the top of my head, clients' day-to-day tasks. Okay. The audio is weird. That's really strange. Some people are complaining about audio here. Yes, okay. Someone shared content calendar. Awesome. Content calendar is something that needs to be repeated often in your business. Thank you, Nina, for sharing that. If you're having issues with the audio in the live webinar, please can you indicate, do you want to change your network? Because it's probably network. It's definitely network. Okay, back to our class. So if you're still wondering, which part of my business needs system, or what part of my business needs to be systemized, or what sector of my business should I actually systemize, let me share common areas you're probably experiencing chaos. So if I say common areas you're probably experiencing chaos, it means that, if you're experiencing chaos in it, then it needs system. If you're experiencing calm in it, something is working, right? Again, does anybody want to share any particular area they're experiencing chaos? So what's that thing that it's time for in the month and you're like, oh my God, this thing has come back again already. I can't do this. the audio on the PC webinar is what is where the IG find. Okay, all right. So we are saying here that if sorry, let me see, lost my train of thought. Yeah. So common areas. If you don't know where you need to systemize in your business, think about the places that are causing chaos. So if something is causing you trouble, like I cannot stand doing this task, or I do not like this process, or I don't like this activity, or this thing stresses me out, what's probably happening to you is that you're actually experiencing chaos there, and that's the part of your business that needs to be systemized. Do you understand? So think closely. Does anybody here want to share any area they're experiencing chaos in their business? Please feel free to ask any questions. I do not want to be the only person speaking up in the class. So if you want to ask a question, let me know and I will turn on your mic. Where my attendees? Okay. Does anybody want to share? Let me know if I turn the mic to you. Okay. Onboarding clients, awesome. Content calendars, awesome. Weekly badging, weekly batch content creation, monthly reports, weekly newsletter. Okay. So I don't have a pen next to me. I just want to put this down somewhere. So Jessica says weekly batch content creation, monthly reports, weekly newsletter. Ayomide says onboarding clients, and Jessica also says content calendar. Awesome. Now let's go back into our class slides. So now, these are some areas you are going to be experiencing chaos, or you might be experiencing chaos. So first one we have is workflow management. So this is your daily content creation, your monthly report, your general task management, your communication. So communication here is like your internal process. You are struggling to manage internal communication process with your clients or with your team. You also struggle with client relationship and management. You don't know how to manage your clients effectively. So when a client comes to me and is like, Uche, I'm interested in your services, it's like as if everything in your brain just like vamooses out, and then you cannot even think about, wait, what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to send her my portfolio? Am I supposed to send her my rate? How am I supposed to do this? It happens to the best of us, trust me. Even me too, in the stage of my business, when we're onboarding a new client, or when a client reaches out to us for inquiries, I dare us forget some things I'm meant to do. It just happens. Your brain is human. There are too many things going on, and you literally just forget a step. But this is what your system now does for you, because you have it all listed out somewhere, and you just look into the, what am I meant to do? It's like a checklist or like a to-do list. Do you understand? That's what your systems are. But it's listed out in a way that is do A, do B, do C, do C, do C, do D, do E. And that's how it is. So another place you probably be struggling with chaos is you're experiencing chaos is your team management. And when I say team management, it doesn't mean that you're hiring wrong people. What's probably happening is that you're hiring people, but you're not seeing the results that they are doing in your business. So what could be happening is that, okay, you hired Uche to join your team, and you're like, Uche, write caption now. And then the caption Uche is writing is like, which kind of caption Uche they write? Like, why is she writing this type of caption? Or you just give them a simple task, and it's literally driving you insane that why is Uche not writing these captions right? Or why is this person not doing this right? What probably happened is that it was in your hiring process. You missed out something. You missed out to look out for Uche's strength. Because if Uche says she's a better video content creator, why are you expecting Uche to give you good captions? Do you understand? So this is what your hiring process does. Or better still, the one that happens is you hire people, and then your team becomes redundant. So you have multiple people doing content creation, but nobody is handling the emails and customer inquiries in the DMs. You have people handling the community management, growing the page and all, but nobody is handling weekly newsletters, or nobody is handling your clients' inquiries and all. So what happens here is that, you didn't take a look back at your team to say, okay, you know what? These are my strengths, these are my weaknesses. So what I always advise people is, especially when you want to hire, I'm even derailing, but okay. Especially when you want to hire or outsource or delegate tasks, what you want to do is look back and ask yourself, what are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? What do I like to do? What do I not like to do? Because you need to hire for what you don't like to do. Do you understand? So when you learn how to hire for what you don't like to do, it makes sense that this task I don't like to do, I've hired somebody else to do it, okay? And that's fine, Jonathan. But if you like to create content, then you now hire another content creator. Then the content creator doesn't like writing newsletter, and if you don't like writing newsletter, nobody's going to get anything done on your team. Okay, so now let's now dive into systems. Let me see. Any questions, any observations? Please feel free to ask your questions, drop your questions in the poll tag. I would open the floor, so please ask questions. If you want to put your mic on, let me know. I would put you in mic mode. Everybody in the class's mic is out, okay? All right. Now we're going to share, the type of systems your social media management business needs. I'm sure when you hear, so another thing here about systems is that for different businesses, so like if you look at it on a larger scale here, operations need systems, sales need systems, marketing needs systems, and HR needs systems. What you should ask yourself then is, my own business as a social media manager, as a social media service provider, whatever you call yourself as agency owner, freelancer, me personally, where do I need systems? And here are top 4 systems your social media management business needs. Okay. Awesome. So the first type of system you need is a client acquisition. So when we're talking about client acquisition or client onboarding or lead gen, anything you want to call it, think about it as the systems you need to acquire a new client. So like I said here, think about this from the first contact a potential client makes till they actually they have paid and they have signed and you've signed them on board. What processes and steps do you need to carry out? So think about it like this, yeah? If I come to meet who is on the group, okay, I can see a Judith, right? So if I come to the group, yeah, if I come to meet Judith for her services, what Judith is meant to do is meant to ask herself, like, what step? Don't miss anything out. That's why people always miss it in system. Write everything out. First of all, in fact, a simple way to do it is to play the scenario out in your head. Uche reaches out to me. She's asking for my digital marketing services. Okay. Probably chances that she landed on my Instagram page or she landed on my website or she sent me an email. There's always going to be a place where people will land on before they make inquiries of your services. They found you from somewhere and they will reach out to you through a platform. Do you understand? So think about where Uche reaches out to you from. What's the next step that happens from there? If Uche reaches out to you via the DM, are you sending her your rate cards already via DM? Or are you asking her to send you an email? Or are you sending her to your website? What is the step-by-step process? This is what your client acquisition process does. The next one is your client management. Now, when you think about how you have carried Uche from from inquiry straight to the bank, because what now happened is Uche came from your DM and Uche is now in your bank because Uche has paid money for your services. Now, it's time to deliver that service to Uche. What is the process like? Now, you know what your services look like, yeah? So you need to think, okay, Uche has come on board, I've onboarded her, I've done all of this to her. How can I move Uche? How can I not have an effective, process with Uche? So let's say Uche comes to you for social media management, you're thinking day-to-day management of the project. And whose name am I using? Let me go back to this thing. Okay, I'm using Judith, yes? So Judith is thinking, how will I handle Uche as my clients now? So I'm handling Uche's management, social media management. So we need to create strategy. We need to create content calendar, content plan. So you're thinking about it step by step. You're not jumping anything. And this is where you want to list everything out in your client management process. What does it look like to render my services to Uche on a daily basis? Right? Are you asking yourself these questions and writing them down? Next thing you want to ask is, what does it look like to render my services to Uche on a weekly or monthly basis to manage her as a client? Once you have all of this listed out, you're able to see what, so for instance, if it's on a daily basis, say you are managing my accounts, you're going to be posting almost every day or at least 3 to 5 times a week. You want to now set, okay, this is how I want to do every beginning of the month. I am creating a social media strategy. Sorry, I'm creating a content calendar, editing all my posts and sending it to the clients for approval. Do you see the process of like taking things step by step by step by step? Because for your own sanity, you need to look back and say, and this is why, so something that would really save you if you want to pick up business systems in your business is to have limited services. So you cannot just offering for instance, you cannot just start saying today you want to do website design or tomorrow you want to start running, I don't know, Facebook ads. Think about the services you actually want to run, 3 to 5, and build your systems around it. Because if you are now having multiple services, or maybe a client comes to meet you and say, oh, I'm looking for a brand strategy, and you say, yes, you can do brand strategy, what systems would you have in place? So once you have things, you're serving clients for email marketing, or social media management, or content creation, or Facebook ads, or any type of ads. It's a repeated process, and you know how to do it over and over and over again, because the goal is to rinse and repeat. It's not rinse and throw out, it's rinse and repeat. Are we together? Any questions before I proceed? If you're not understanding this, please speak up. I do not want to leave you guys confused, unsure, overwhelmed. Let me know, please. Okay? All right. The next one is your team management and onboarding. So if you want to hire more hands, so do you want to hire more hands? Awesome. So you want to hire, has anybody gone through this experience of you hire somebody and then in less than 1 month, you have to let the person go because, oh my God, you hired wrong? That is the worst thing that could actually happen to a creative business owner, because once you hire someone on your team, you have already made mental plans around them, and then all of a sudden you have to let them go. It's like you're starting to build from afresh again, and it can be frustrating. So you need to know how to hire once and hire right. You need to ask yourself, like, what are the things, what do you need to put in certain places to effectively manage your team? So hiring process, delegation of tasks, or your JD, or communication. And when we say these things, it doesn't have to be so, people think that it has to be so, MTN, HR, big and gigantic. No, just list it out. What do you want to outsource to this person? Or what do you want the person's day? In fact, to make it even easier for you, you can write out what the person's day-to-day tasks will look like, what the person's weekly tasks will look like, what the person's monthly tasks will look like. So for instance, if you hire a social media, so a typical example will be on our team, we have a content specialist that schedules all the posts, does the weekly engagement, does everything. And then we have someone else that, handles the strategy, monthly reports, clients management and all, because, you need people to just stay and focus. It's truly subjective. What might be working for us at Contently might not work for you. So you need to sit down and figure out how to create the systems that work for yourself. Another thing I'll advise you is it's okay to actually take time off to create your systems. It took me about 3 to 4 months ish to set up the systems, and before the year runs out, I'm definitely going to even upgrade our own processes, because we're going to bring more hands in and we'll just adjust a bit. So it's okay. And this is when they say, when your business is low, you don't have clients or you don't have anybody on board, what you can easily do is to fix your systems, update your systems and processes, see how you can improve yourself as a social media service provider. And the last one is our client offboarding. I know that this might sound really new, or really, I've never heard of this before, or what does she mean? Client offboarding is literally how you want to let go of a client. So many of us here are not good at go-bys. I know some people here in this group, if I open the mic to the floor, you're going to have horrible experiences of how you've let your clients, how you've let your clients go. And this is what we're talking about when it comes to client offboarding. Most people don't have, client offboarding process. Once the client says, oh, I'm no more doing, you just like fight them and you're like, I don't want this no more. You cut them off, you don't communicate to them properly, you don't even like hand over rights. or then you're being very, very salty that, oh, they're no more using you again, you're not going to give them the content, blah, blah, blah. Or all these things happen because you didn't set up systems in place. Okay. So now back to our class. I am going to ask, where am I? Okay. All right. So I am opening everyone's mic to speak, right? You are all allowed to talk now. I want to hear your contribution. Does anybody have any questions, any contribution, any suggestion? Can I get your hands up if you have any question? Your mic is on. Everybody must be enjoying this class because nobody's saying anything. If you're not speaking, there's confusion going on, and I don't like that. We might be confused. Someone speaking?
Yes, I'm speaking. Good evening.
Good evening.
Okay, so I've been enjoying so far what you've been saying, and I think I'm getting them. But when you mentioned, I've been really, really confused. When you were coming up, you're like, okay, our systems and all of that, and then you were listening to everything. I was asking myself already that, how many years am I going to use to write all of those things? But when you mentioned that you use 3 to 4 months for your own, I just gave up. Like, you know what, girl, you're free to use 6 months to do yours. So that was the only thing that I got confused about. But then you actually clarified it. But so far, I've been enjoying the class, and I really hope that we can get to the phase by which you can actually recommend some systems for us, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome. All right. I didn't get your name. Who is speaking?
Well, you know me, Habiba.
Oh, Habiba. Hi. Sorry, I can't. Okay. I can't see you in the class. Okay. Since.
Really?
Right. Okay, I can see it.
I'm currently on Zoom. I'm in the webinar, not the Instagram live.
I know. I'm only taking calls.
Okay.
I can see it now. I missed it.
All right. Okay.
So yeah, like I said, like you don't need to. This is what I always tell people. In fact, generally, I'm still waiting for the thing that you can get done in, I don't know, in 1 week, not like, of course, we know that there's some tasks. Doesn't mean that I say, it took 3 to 6, sorry, 3 to 4 months. You then fold your arms and like, oh, it takes time. Set reasonable goals for yourself and say, you know what, by the end of this month, I want to have said this. And here's something I always advise people, social media service providers. The best way to upgrade and update your system is actually to be in the process. So like, for instance, if you get a new client, or rather think about the last time a client came to you for your services. What was right and what was not right? Let me give a perfect example. So around this time a year ago, we truly lost a very or like a very great possible client, and this was because we did not have a website. And what that taught me was, okay, I see. If I want to charge X amount of money, I need to put these things on the website. I need to list it out and be professional on the website. And then I wasn't mad at it. I just saw the situation. I was like, I see. And then in that situation, I was like, okay, you know what? A website cannot come up immediately as I would have wanted it to do. What then can I do? What was it that my portfolio didn't solve that could have been better? So I thought about it close. I was like, okay, you know what? Let me then highlight and create a case study where I spotlight one client that I can be able to say, this is everything we do for this client. So when people reach out to me to make inquiries of my services and say, oh, let me see what clients you've worked with, I'm not only limited to showing them my portfolio, I can also send in a case study. Another thing I noticed was when people reach out to us via the DMs, we always have people saying, a client to message us and be like, I'm interested in your social media services. A year ago or a couple of years ago, what I'll do is I'll just like stop everything. I'll be messaging them, chatting with them, texting them and all. And what usually happens is that they're never interested and they drop off. So I said, you know what, instead of me wasting time like this, what systems or what process can I set in place to improve our client acquisition process? And what I did was, you know what, if somebody reaches out to us in the DM, I'm going to recommend that they send an email. If you're able to send an email, it means that you're interested. So once I respond to that email or once you respond to the email, we're then able to say, you know what, here are our rate card, see how much we charge, see our portfolio, here's a link to book a discovery call. So that the client has they have like this proofreading of like, oh, I see you're charging 2K for this thing, you're charging 5K for that, this amount for this and all. And they will say, okay, I want to do this, and then they schedule a call. But before then, I just used to give anybody our link. Oh yes, book a discovery. In fact, it used to be in our Instagram bio. People from anywhere in the world will just book or. And when it's time for the meeting, they actually do not show up. And I'm like, why are people wasting my time? And you had kind of like planned, your day around that meeting. You've planned your time, your day around that meeting, and then the client doesn't join. So it required us to like sit back and be like, okay, how can we prevent this from happening again? How can we upgrade our systems here that would not allow this thing happen again? So by saying send an email to us, it means that if you're able to sit down and send that email, okay, it means you're interested. If we then send you the rates and send you the link and then you book the call, it means you're serious. Do you understand? Like it just kind of like, because as social media service providers, you also need to vet your clients, vet people you're hiring. You just can't say, oh, you're hustling, you need money, you need work, and then you take on any client. Sometimes you take clients and they stress you out, okay? So you need to always think about that over and over again. So now let's go back into our class to continue. So a couple of things you need to consider when setting up your systems. First things first, you need to consider your objective and setting clear goals. So think about it like this. Let me see. Sorry. I would need to be excused. I need to pull my phone quickly. Okay, so I just wanted to walk you through something while I share this. Awesome. So here are some things you need to consider if you want to set up systems. So before you start saying, oh, agenda, setting up my business systems, I need to set up my business systems today, I need you to ask yourself these questions. What do I want to achieve from this? When you're able to determine what you want to achieve from a said system, it will save you a whole lot of time. So think about it like this. Okay, I want to increase my productivity. Okay, let's use this person's question for an example. Content calendar. Okay, I do not want to be wasting time when I want to create content, or I don't want to spend too much time when I'm creating my content calendar. What that means, that has become your goal, that you want to spend less time on a task or on a project. So you need to ask yourself, with this as my goal, what can I now do to streamline the process, or what's the process like? So already, if you see things like with your content calendar, that is when you are in June. Okay, so this is August, is 17th of August, and you realize that 17th of August, you don't have a content calendar. Why? Why can you not start preparing, right? Like this now, 17th of August, you need to start preparing your content calendar for September, or at least have an insight. So there's some things you need to put in place that you say, okay, once is this month, once this time, once is the third week of every month, I'm going to start working on my next client, on my next month's content calendar. Once is the last Monday of every month, I'm going to start working on monthly reports for my clients, so I do not miss out content creation, creating content calendar. Because once you know that every fourth Monday of the month, you need to start prepping your content calendar, or even better still, every 26th of every month, you need to start preparing content calendar. You would be on track. You would know that, okay, this client is expecting this, because if you start preparing for 24th, by 28th to be ready to be sent in. In fact, it will have been ready by 25th. So these are some things you need to think about when you're setting these goals for yourself. Then the next thing you want to do is to streamline your workflow, aka map your process. So ask yourself, what's the process like? So I need to go on Pinterest first to brainstorm content ideas. I need to go on YouTube. I need to go on where do people go to search for content ideas? You need to determine the places you go to search for content ideas first before you start creating content, or before you start putting things in your content calendar, then you say to yourself, okay, you know what? Now that I've done this thing, I need to also sit down, put them in the maybe a content board or where you're planning, just put them in there, or and you say, okay, this is how I want to do it. And then by next week, I'm going to film. Next week, I'm going to edit. The other week, I'm going to, proofread or write captions. You're writing everything out step by step. And it's very addictive. So it's truly, truly like one thing that happens to me is that sometimes I want to a couple of days I was just brainstorming on content ideas for next month. And when I finished, I wanted to start creating the content. Something had to tell me, like, calm down, like, it's not yet time. Do you understand? Like, just plan, keep writing all the ideas. On the day of shooting, you will shoot. Do you understand? So we are always tempted to want to jump the gun, even in our own processes. And also, you need to also slow down, like, and there's no time. Like, it's like a what I call it, guard or like an umpire for like your business and your tax and all. And then the next thing you also want to consider is to determine a technological platform. So when it comes to systems, you actually need to put your systems on project management tools. So for instance, at Contently, we use Asana. I always like recommend Asana because I think it's very easy and straightforward to use. So you want to determine a project management tool for your systems. You can use CRM tools. You can use project management tools. Off the top of my head, I always recommend Asana. I would also recommend Notion, Airtable. Trello is awesome, but I use Asana, and what we also recommend to people is Asana. The next is communication process. You want to also figure out, like, how do you want to communicate to your clients? If you don't want anybody to be calling you random hours of the day to ask you for odd requests, it is time to determine how communication is like. Are you checking? So for instance, every Monday, I ensure that I check in on my clients. So if I've not heard from your clients, even if it's not every Monday, at least every two Mondays, sometimes we stick to chat. Other times I just pick up the phone and call, like, good morning, it's Monday, not heard from you, what's going on, update. Just stay in touch with them so that you need to check in with your clients, like do weekly check-ins. Even if you're not putting a phone call, you're actually just dropping a message. So for communication platforms, you can use like Slack for communication, or if you're okay, you want to use WhatsApp, that's truly okay too. So you can always figure out, so once you figure out your communication process, that's there. Then the next thing you want to do is to think about delegation and outsourcing. When I say delegation, delegation is internal on your team. Who should be doing what and when should it be done? You need to determine all of that. And this is why these things take time, because again, you need to really just lie down, sleep, and think over some things. You test some things out, you see some things in process, you do your research, you ask other people how things are done. I was speaking to someone in our DMs today, and she had like this wealth of knowledge of like 5 years. And I thought to myself, like, setting up systems will not be an issue because you already know how kind of clients that come your way respond or how they behave and all. And last but not the least, you need to ask yourself, what is your work-life balance like? So for me, I don't want to work on weekends, I don't want to work on Saturdays, and I don't want to work on Sundays. If there's anything I'm doing on Sundays, maybe Sunday evening, I'm just like trying to prep for my week, writing on my to-do list so I don't have to waste my time doing that on Monday. So you need to determine all of these things. If you say you want to work back to back too, that's still good. Okay. Does anybody have any questions, please, so that I am not all rambling to myself? Any question? I think I saw someone's hands up. Does anybody have any question, please? Okay, so I'm just going to move on to the next slide. All right, so right now, I need questions. Questions, please, before we move on. Anybody, any question? Any question? If you are solo, how do you delegate? Awesome question. Okay. Okay.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hi, I can hear you.
Okay, sorry. I'm using two platforms. I'm listening from IG and looking at the slides from my phone. Sorry about that.
Are you not hearing it? Is anything wrong?
Okay. I'm at work, so that's the best way I can actually
Okay.
follow. Okay, so I am a, how do I put it? So my business is product based. I'm interested in learning any and everything because I believe I can learn from both. So I'm actually at the stage where I sell thrift clothes, and I've streamlined my target audience so far to early workers and what have you, and people who want to save money and all. But I'm just listening now. I'm just seeing that there are a lot of things that I need to get in place to be able to look more professional, as that's the picture that I'm trying to paint, and want people to see how they can dress very good at work and not have to spend all their money buying all expensive things and all. So I just wanted to so far you've been referring to service based, especially for like digital marketing stuff,
Yes.
content creations and all. So I just wanted you to at least consider us that are the service. I don't know if there's another person here that's like me when
Mm.
you're giving examples and all, so we can really benefit from the class, because I'm actually learning, and I'm just thinking of how I can be able to set structures around what I'm doing and all, since I'm working and I'm also having that part of the business done.
Okay. Awesome. So, first of all, I think for product-based business, what I always like recommend to them is you might not, so because your service, what you might need systems for is for your internal process within your team. You don't necessarily need systems outside of your products. Do you understand? So you might need systems. Say if you're hiring someone on your team, how would they like work for you, or how should things be done? How often are you guys going to the market? How often do you want to go to the market? How often do you want to go on sales? How often do you want to do discounts? So these are things you need to put in place. So quite frankly, like because this webinar is truly for service-based providers, but I believe that you can learn something off from here. But again, as much as you want to learn any and everything, it's always still important to decide what you want to learn, so you don't find yourself just like gathering too much information, because again, information overload is a thing too that we fail to understand as human beings, so that you're not like saying, oh, how can I do this, how can I do that, and all. Okay, so for you, if you can send me a DM after this, I would really love to like focus on. I want to give you more pointers, but just so that I don't digress from the class, because for the general purpose as was announced was for social media service providers, still feel free to like send me a DM. I would love to put you through some things. If you are solo, how do you delegate? So when you're solo, you don't need to delegate. You need to now delegate to yourself. When you're solo, that's why I explain about solopreneurs. Like we get too lax that we're like, oh, it's just my business, it's me, nobody needs. No, you need systems for yourself. You need to instill systems for yourself to be disciplined enough to know that when it's time to do this, it's time to do it. And when you have that culture of discipline, if you hire someone, it's easy to transfer that discipline or routine to them to get things done for your business. Grace is asking, how can you advise someone who works 9 to 5 and still runs a kind of social media freelance? How do I develop my system, and what do I need to focus on? So what you need to do, this is a very good question for people that work 9 to 5, is first of all, take your time. Understand that your understand that you have a 9 to 5, and your 9 to 5 really requires your attention. Do you understand? Let's be honest, like this is 9 to 5. For you to have a 9 to 5 and you have this on the side, it means that is your major source of income, and you want to give it all the attention, right? And then you just want to do something on the side to add as extra income revenue. So be transparent to yourself that that I need to give my 9 to 5 focus. While you're doing that, you want to now figure out how you want to nurture your social media freelance career on the side. Ask yourself, like, how many things do you want to do? So you need to ask yourself, like, what type of social media management are you doing? Sometimes some people think that, do you need one client or two clients? Once you decide that, you have that there first, and you also decide what you want to focus on. Do you want to focus on content creation? Like, when I feel like sometimes when we ask these questions, we kind of like know the answer. So you should just ask yourself, like, what do I want to focus on? Do I want to focus on email marketing services, or do I want to focus on content creation services? From there, you're able to say, okay, this is what I want to focus on. with whatever you choose to focus on, then you use that to build your systems on top of it. Do you understand what I'm saying? So, say for instance, you choose to offer only email marketing, you choose to only offer content creation services. So, you want to create like short form video content for clients and all. You want to set systems in that place. First things first, of course, we've already indicated that your client acquisition is important. How do you want to get clients? How are you going to be posting about your business? Are you posting about your business on social media? Fantastic. How are clients going to reach out to you? Do you want to publish your rate card for your clients to see? Do you want to put it in your highlight, or do you want to put it on your website, or do you want to just have a portfolio, or you want them to like, if people email me first, then I'll send them a rate? Because truly for content creation, there's some things you need to decide, like or like say, if the location is on the island, it's not going to be the same thing as it's on the mainland. If the location is out of state or interstate, some things, some factors will determine before you can actually like price how you want to price. So that's still things you need to consider. And then, when they reach out to you, you're going to say, oh, this is how, if you reach out to me now, we speak, I understand what you're saying. Are you drafting up a proposal for them, or you're just sending? So is the nature of your service a draft proposal, or is pick off the menu? Do you understand? Because sometimes I could just be like, oh yeah, it's this one I want. Sometimes even if that's the one I want, you still need to prepare a proposal to explain to the client. So it's truly subjective to what you want to do, then you're able to build on systems. But what I always advise for people that are here, that are like, the freelancers, that they are working for themselves, is see your systems as a routine. I think if you see systems as a routine, it will really help you to be committed to doing this work or building systems. So when I say see it as routine, it's like, that every Monday you're researching for content ideas, every Tuesday you're filming, every Wednesday you're editing, have things in place. Or maybe every like you and I always say this, list out everything you want to do. Once you list out everything you want to do, you're able to start repeating them and say, this is what I want to do daily. Again, in that, you're going to see that, you know what, I don't necessarily need to be on my Instagram stories every day. So why are you killing yourself to want to be on your Instagram stories every day? So these are things that, systems help you in place. But for my solopreneurs, see systems as routine. Okay. All right, any more questions? Because we've actually come to the end of this class. I do not want it to be so long because I know some people want to watch the replay. Anybody, any question? Okay, so we're just going to go back into our class. And if you actually need more on systems, I just have to put you onto the full package, because what I just gave you is like a very tiny, weeny part of the puzzle. But, it's a very good puzzle that if you eat, you'll be satisfied. Because I can see a couple of you are like truly satisfied with what you have learned so far. I really want to put you onto our new online course, the Business of Social Media Management course. So this Business of Social Media Management course is a course for social media service providers who want to start, who want to systemize, and who want to scale their businesses. And what you find in this course is introduction to social media management, finding your niche. These are chapters, of course. It has more extensive lessons under them. Product and services, where we discuss about determining your product, pricing, packaging your services, creating irresistible offers. It also has marketing your social media services. How are you going to market your new awesome service to your clients that you've created? Are you going to do things on a low key, on a high key? What's the best place for you to find clients? How do you position yourself right for the type of clients you want? We cover that extensively here. And also we have solid systems for your business. And in this chapter, we go extensively in the systems we've spoken about, where we show you live systems. We're walking you through live systems we use in our business, and also give you workflow templates. And last but not the least is our down to business, where we share some business tips to help improve your social media management business. And this course truly is not for everyone. I don't recommend anybody to just get it. It's for everyone. Sorry, it's not for everyone. It's for social media agency owners or freelancers who are ready to quit playing small and go full time. So if you're tired of your 9 to 5, or you just want something more, you're craving something more, you feel like you can do more, this course is for you. And if you're truly tired of all this half-baked information about running a creative business, oh, you need to do this, you need to do that, this course is for you. And if you're ready to truly grow your revenue, add stream of income, define your brand strategy, service offering, scale your clients from an automated point of view, because all of these things can be done without burning out. And last but not the least, if you're mission focused, I'm emphasizing on this one. If you know that you can set goals and look at it and crush it, this course is for you. Goal oriented and ready to monetize your creative skills, this course is perfect for you. I know it shows on the screen here that it's 69,999. That's like 70K. It's actually not that. That's the initial price, but it's on a discount. There's a mistake on this flyer, so you can actually get it for 4,999. That's 30K, I believe. Yes, so you're getting it for 20K off. So you're getting it for 50,000 naira instead. And also what is in this course. So you have like 7 detailed modules, which includes 30 plus video lessons. So from all the chapters I explained, you have over 30 videos to watch. You're also going to be getting done for you templates. So your niche worksheet, you're also going to get a pricing template. You get a portfolio and a case study template. Yes, you will. You'll also get a discovery call planner in your systems, and also proposal, onboarding a new client, the kind of kit you need, and a new client survey question. Again, we have generously included our Asana workflow for the 4 systems alongside email templates to share to your clients. So it's one thing to say, oh, send an email to me. It's another thing to send it in the right tone and right messages. So in this Asana workflow, it's truly like, very detailed. The course is walking you through these systems live in action, step by step. And then you also get the template. I believe you can use it on any project management tool, but I always recommend you use it on Asana because that's what we use. And last but not the least, community support. You also be getting access to a private group to ask follow-up questions and connect with other students. So I know that I have bombarded you with a lot of information. I know, and I'm not here to sell to you, let you, and run away, okay? I want to be here to hold your hand, to see you go from point A to point B of your business. I actually want to see you move the needle stack. So if this is something you're truly interested in, I would really recommend you invest in this product and come and join us on the community group. You have access to me to ask any question, any concern, anything confuses you, because of course the systems like that, this takes up to 3 to 4 months to set up properly. So, it cannot be done in 30 hours or in 3 hours if you take the course. But when you take the course, you need to sit down, digest the information you have just received, and, decide how you want to proceed with it. And here's what I can guarantee you if you actually take this course. You're going to have a true clarity on your ideal clients and your social media business. Yep. You're going to gain confidence in your pricing, your service offering, and execution of your job. You'd have solid systems to operate the social media service business that would have you looking organized and give your client a simple experience. And last but not the least, you find yourself positioning as an expert and strategic partners with your client. Okay. So if this is for you, please, we would share the link. Let me drop the link in the bio right now for you guys to quickly access. Don't know how to keep that, sorry. I'm just going to drop a link if you want to buy this course and come over to our cute fun side where we are learning about building our social media business. Awesome. Okay. Any more questions? Any more concerns? Does anybody want to ask anything? Do you want to say something? Do you want to share something? Please feel free to ask. I am here to answer all of your questions.
Hello, can I say something?
Yes, please. Who's speaking?
Habiba.
Okay, hi Habiba, go on.
Okay, am I free to talk about the business of social media management?
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay, so I do not know who is on this call. This is just a free word of mouth. Is it word of mouth, right? Yeah. I took this business of social media management last year. Was it May? I think it was May last year.
Yeah, it was.
And what is here is actually more than what we had in class last year. But guess what? What we had in class last year was awesomely awesome. And for me, I did not come here today because I wanted to talk about this or because I agreed that I was going to say this. It's actually because I know what I got. I actually got my first 3 clients. I used to get clients, but I got 3 clients even when I was off social media. Like I was super busy in the back end, but I still got clients with everything that I did in my business. I changed my processes, I actually meet all my clients. I used to work for all Muslim women, but then I decided to start working for busy women, like women who are super busy, like stay-at-home moms, like work-from-home moms, right? Generally, so I started getting more of their inquiry. It seems like they've been long forgotten. So when we were in class, we did all of these things in class, and I was able to get my prices went up, and I still got 3 clients. And mind you, I was not even posting content. I was offline. Imagine if I was online marketing. You know what I mean? So actually, if you are a social media manager or you want to just start being a social media manager, you're a freelancer, you're a content creator, whatever service provider you're providing that is based on social media, right? Content, email, Facebook ad, whatever it is, that you want to use social media, then I actually recommend this, that you should take this course. Do not look at the price, honestly. Do not look at the price. The truth is next year or whenever this program is coming back, it is not coming back at this price because yes, it is not coming back at this price. So I highly recommend this. And thank you so much. Thank you so much for this opportunity again. I'm also thinking that I want to come and register again. Yes, because I want to get serious again. Yes, serious with my business. So yeah.
Please come back again. Like last year was a workshop. This is more like a permanent stuff.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Habiba. I truly appreciate your feedback. It's so weird that when I was putting this together, I was like, nobody's going to come and back up what I'm saying. And, you just decided to do that. And I truly appreciate. And if you have any questions, honestly, or concerns, send me a DM. I always tell people, if you cannot type your DM, send your voice notes. I will listen to it and I will get to it. Okay, someone wants to speak. Let me. Yes, you can go on.
Hello, Uche. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, it's Amaka.
Hi, Amaka.
Yeah. I want to thank you first of all for this webinar. Honestly, it be like I go down on top your content master you get. I've been following you for a while, and low key, you sort of inspire me alongside social media Oga and the rest. Right? I've not been in the business of social media management for up to 2 years. But I started when I started doing social media management as a side hustle when I was really tight for cash. I needed the extra money. And because I'm someone who really likes content creation, right? I decided to, let me take a couple of clients. My first client was actually from Canada, right? And they joined me. I mean, they partnered with me because I volunteered for an NGO, and they're like, okay, I like what this girl did, let me join, right? So after dropping that client after 3 months, because the client was not coming forth with giving me content, and it was clamping down on me producing content and delivering quality social media management, right? So I dropped that client after 3 months, and after a while I started doing HR. And recently I said, okay, I want to go deeper into social media management, and I decided to actually find a full-time role where I could be sort of mentored, if that makes sense, in social media management. So I don't know, at some point I felt like it was a bad choice because my core strength is video content creation, because you talked about something like that. When you're managing a team, you need to know what everybody's strengths are so that you're able to delegate properly and you get the best from your team. So I'm in a situation where I know that I can do certain tasks, like anything concerning social media management, I can do them to a very good extent. But my core strength, where you see me using 110%, is video content creation. And I'm somehow not allowed, I'm going to call it not allowed to do that, but I'm being delegated to do other things. So it's sort of not allowing me to fully put out good quality content. So I'm putting this question to you to ask, what do you suggest I do in this situation? And nevertheless, I'm still trying to be better at social media management, but this is a point where I'm sort of conflicted, a place where they are not letting me be the best that I know that I can be personally. Because they even asked me at some point, okay, how many followers do you have on LinkedIn? And I said, I don't even have up to 500 on LinkedIn, but on TikTok, I have up to almost 3,000. And on Instagram, I'm almost at 2,000. So I'm like, that's a very good indicator that you tell you that I'm very good at video content creation. So if you want to see actual results, allow me to do videos for you, talking head videos, any kind of videos, allow me to do videos. And we're not seeing, because of that, it's sort of like I'm not doing my job properly when I'm doing something that is outside of my strength.
Okay. Thank you so much. Oh, wait, Jessica, Chamaka, which one?
Them. All of them.
Much. Thank you for sharing this. And I want to confirm, is this what you're supposed to message me about?
I sent a video. I sent the video to you actually. I don't know why it was not sending.
Okay, but this is it, yeah. So I'll just like know how to. Okay, awesome. Okay, so first of all, yeah, you see, what I always tell people that find themselves in this situation is truly and true. We all know why we do jobs. I know that we all want to express our creativity and all, but truly, at the bottom of it is our need for money, right? And I don't like to. I'm not one of those people that will tell you, "Oh, you don't like it, quit." No, there are bills to be paid. There is a life to be lived. There's a fulfillment. There's a need to fulfill the desire to work and all. So what I always say is, I'm sure there's a reason you started the work. So probably like you wanted to express yourself creatively, but things are not what you expected, which is normal. That's the MO and all sometimes trigger. But what I would say is speak to whoever is in charge. Let them know your core strengths. Honestly, I always feel like your bosses or your supervisors or your superiors might not really know. You just have to let them know that this is actually your strength. Now, even when you tell them this is your strength, you also need to know that they will not automatically like let you go off to that your strength. You also still have to prove to them that. So you might find yourself doing your actual work and then also expressing your strength to them because again, I don't even think you have an issue with it because it's truly your own desire. Like you enjoy creating content and all. However, if you feel like again, you also need to do some personal self-evaluation. Like, is this the type of company you want to work at? If it's what you like, if you see that there's a reason you need to be there, awesome, stay there and get them to understand what you mean. If not, I'll recommend you leave. However, if you want to leave and head back into social media management, this is something I want to speak to everybody here. So social media management is not the easiest thing to do, honestly, but for some weird reason, I always ask myself, like, why am I even still a social media manager? Like, I could have been other things, but for every time I want to leave or every time I stop or I take a break, I always see myself running back to it some way or the other. I don't know why. Do you understand? So I then realized that truly, truly, I like it. So I know that whether a client wants to frustrate me, or whether a client does not want to frustrate me, or whether people don't understand me, or whether the business does not want to grow to the largest and all, it's just my passion. I would if you actually check my personal page, I don't post, but I have so many contents on my page. I was like, it's fine, no problem. As much as I want to, I just create content and I keep. There's something within me that satisfies my passion that I can create content, and then that's like really primary before I now start thinking of like secondary needs of like, oh, let me make money off it, let me do this and all. But still, what I always say is you need to like be real with yourself, honestly. Like if you don't want to do this work again, stop. I'm not going to tell you to keep up the because I said this earlier, all the questions we ask, we have the answer in our hearts deep down. So you still need to do some conscious like searching and ask yourself, like, do you really want to stay here? Because if you want to stay here, you have to find a way to make it work, which is why I said, speak to your supervisors and ask them that, I think I'm a better video content creator. I would like to offer my video content creation skills here, as opposed to being in this what role are you on? If you could just drop that in the chat box, being on this particular role, I think I can do this. However, you still need to know that if you say that to them, they're not automatically going to let you go from, okay, let Jessica say she does not want to be the, I don't know, social media manager again. She now wants to be only creating video. Let her do that. They're not really going to allow you to do that because they still need someone to do that role. So you might need to find how to balance it. That's one option. Two, if you decide to leave the company, you have to ask yourself, like, how are you going to get clients? I think you don't complain about the Canadian clients and also you need to ask yourself, like, what kind of clients are you going for? I set what I call it's like what they call it in dating, something. What's the word? I can't remember what they call it in dating. Something of is it no brainer, Abby? So it's like some, checks that if it's not
deal breakers.
Thank you. Deal breakers with client. I just skip that. So, have your deal breakers with your client that, it's okay. You want to work with brands, but you need to also work with a client who is really passionate. Like, have a checklist for your clients too. Like, you want the client to be excited. Like, you want the brand to be, there's always these 3 P's every brand should have, either for people, either for profit, or either for planet. So then each brand must have at least 2 of each. So either they are in business for the people, for profit, or for the planet. Do you understand? And then just find the one that drives you to them at all. And with that, you're able to say, okay, I want to work with lifestyle brands that, promote soft life, or I think Habiba was the one that said she wanted to work with busy women at all. She's not going to listen to anybody that is not within this thing or does not have some certain. So she and this is one of the things that we discuss in the course. And finding your niche. I can't remember the chapter. Like actually defining who your clients are. You need to know, like, okay, I want to serve X type of clients. They're based in anywhere in the world. Lifestyle brands. They're interested. They're ready to invest in their content. So the issue you had with those Canadian clients was that they just assumed you should perform some magic from content. No, your client should know that I have a social media manager that I need to partner with to create content. I don't say partner with, it's not 2 of us on camera. It's 2 of us like, oh man, here is the strategy. Give me the money. Yeah, or bring the budget. Do you understand? Like, allocate the budget to do X, Y, Z, and all. Like, for instance, if it's an international brand, can they send down their products to you in Nigeria to create content? Or can you get the products in Nigeria? If it's not that, they have a store in Lagos. Like, one way or the other, it needs to work. Okay, fine. They cannot send the products down to you. Can they create the content there? Would they be willing to allow you to show them the ropes? So for instance, if the client films all the content, if you come up with 5 reels to create and you send it to the client, right? Would they be able to do this? Yeah. And do it well, or just need to do is to send you the raw file and then you edit it. So me and you already know that we need to create day in our life. So times the client needs to know that create when you're drinking water, create when you're brushing your hair. And then when they're sending it to you, you already know that you're editing it. So like, is that partnership is working together? So you need to set that as a deal breaker. That you also need clients to know that it's a partnership. Do you understand? Clients that want to invest in their business because it's truly, and then a client that sees that only one person can do everything, it should not even be on your radar as a client. So that's what I'll truly like advise you. Either you stay there and do what I said, or you go out and go out and say you want to do your social media career. But there's some things. So again, you can do the first one, stay in the company, and then give yourself some timeline of 3 to 6 months or before 2024, because this year just has only 4 months left. Wow. 4 months left. Plan your planning, do your doing, take all things you want to do, prep yourself ahead for January and come in hot to the year, okay? One thing I always tell people, God, I'm digressing a lot, but one thing I always tell people is, see, kill the need for instant gratification. If you're able to kill the need for instant gratification, you find yourself like soaring over things. And I say, because we as a generation, we have this need for instant. If I start a business now, I need it to blow immediately. Like, kill that desire to just know that things take time, and be disciplined, that you know that you need to do 1, 2, 3 and all. So yeah, that's all I can say on your question, and I truly hope that helps. We have really
Thank you so much.
like an hour, 20 minutes, and I need to share the replay, so it's not too long for people to watch. But yeah, without that, I would really encourage you guys to please, if this course is for you, check it out. The link is in the bio. Read through, ask any questions. I know that there might be financial implications, but we are actively working on payment plan, but I cannot guarantee it coming out anytime soon because we need to test and try some things out first before we announce it out. But yeah, that's about it. And please, thank you so much. Why did I edit this? Follow us on all our social media platforms and please tell your friends. If you could please tag us on stories that you really enjoyed this webinar, I would truly appreciate it. We need all the visibility out there. We're doing a lot of work. All right. Thank you all and do have a wonderful evening. Enjoy the rest of your day. I think we have polls. Did we? Oh, did you guys take the polls? Please, can we quickly take the polls? If you could just click to the poll side to just quickly take polls, I'll truly appreciate it. It wouldn't take up to 5 minutes of your time, and we will drop off the call. Okay. All right. Any more questions? Does anybody want to say anything before we quickly go? Thank you everyone for your time. I truly appreciate this. Bye.